Hi everyone, it's Danielle at Warm N Cozy Quilting. So today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to make a pieced backing. Okay, I have this quilt top, isn't it cool? So it's new Seth Apter fabric. Mine is called Storyboard and I love it. With this grunge running through it, it is just really cool. But I need to quilt it today. And the quilt top is 52 inches wide by 72 inches long. So I can't just get my standard off the bolt fabric because that's only 40-ish inches wide, 40, 45, and this is 52. So I need to make a second piece. So I'm going to do a little math first to just show you like how much yardage do you need to buy, right? So I like to draw pictures, and here is my quilt top. I'm 52 going this way. Okay, and I don't know how much you're going to see, but you guys will get the drift here. Mostly because I want to make sure that what I'm doing is going to mathematically be enough fabric, right? So I need a piece, so I'm going to use 2 pieces, and my seam is going to go across the middle, right? The 2 pieces like that. So I need something that's got an extra 4 inches here, extra 4 inches here, also on the top and the bottom. So I need something, so I need to add 8, and I need to add 8, right? So I need something that's going to be 60 by 80. Okay? So the width of fabric, which is going to be we've talked about that, right? It's about 40, 42. But I generally just count it as 40 and I do my math that way. So I have decided that this is selvage edge. And this is selvage edges. And here again, right? So, so from selvage to selvage is only 40 inches. If I put 2 pieces together, that's going to make it 80. Cool. So I need 2 pieces. And I need them to be wide enough plus the 4 on either side to get the width of my quilt. So I need 2 pieces that are 60 inches. Okay. So 60 times 2 is 120 inches. When I divide that by 36, because that's a yard, right? Then I'm going to need 3 1/3 yards. So I can go to my quilt shop. I can go to Warm N Cozy, and I can get 3 1/3 yards, and I want to keep that continuous. Even though I told you need 2 pieces here, we're going to say no. We're going to just use 1 piece that's large enough. Now, let me show. Oh, thank you. So hopefully you can screenshot this and zoom in later, and it will make more sense to you. But I think that sometimes I just need visuals so that I can kind of walk you through the math. So I bought a piece that is, I didn't cut anything yet. I have a piece that is 3 1/3 yards, right? Continuous. Here's my selvage. Now I'm going to show you the easiest way ever to make a backing. I'm going to move my quilt top out of the way because one thing I've learned is whenever you cut anything, make sure that the only things that are on your cutting table are things that you actually want to cut. So I'm going to move my board, and only thing that would be on the table now is things that I want to cut. Okay, but I'm not cutting yet. First thing I'm going to do is show you, this is my regular width of fabric, right? I've got selvage, maybe it'd be easier this way. Selvage edge here, and still selvage here. Both sides selvage. And here's my fold. And I've got 3 yards. What I'm going to do is open this up. Okay, so I'm going to now just hold on to 1 piece of selvage and follow that all the way to the other end. Okay. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it over on itself. So now I have right sides together and I have that same selvage. So I've got, you know how on one end you've got more of a thicker selvage, then on the other end it is printed with just some little dots. I'm going to use this white where I can see a little better selvage, and I'm going to fold it over on itself. Okay, so that we're still using that selvage edge, and that's what we're going to be working with. I'm going to take this now. Here's the cut end, right? The two cut ends, and I'm going to just kind of fold this together so that my selvage edge is here. Okay, I'm going to sew. I'm not going to cut anything yet. Still haven't cut anything. I'm going to sew about a 1/2 inch away from the selvage. You could go a whole inch. We are going to trim that selvage off before we put it on the long arm. So if you want to go, but I'm using that kind of as a guide, right? I'm going to stay right along that selvage edge because I can see that, but I'm going to stay about a 1/2 inch in. All right, so this will be fun to sit here and watch me do this. But see, so I have the two open ends and I've matched them up at the top. I have my folded end at the bottom. And when I get to the bottom of this, I'm just going to sew right off. So here's my fold, and I'm just going to sew off the end of it. Have you ever made a backing and you've cut 2 pieces? And so I want to tell you that on my machine here, I'm just finding a place that is going to be really easy for me to see as I sew, and just keep that selvage right there as I go. Let's see if I can talk and if they can still hear me while I sew. I'd really like to go faster, but I also don't want it to be too fast where you can't hear me. So frequently, if you cut 2 pieces that are 60 inches and then you try to sew those 2 together, you end up where they're kind of like this, right? And then when you go to load it on the frame, you've got 2 offset pieces. That doesn't work out so well when you're trying to find center of those 2 pieces. So let's go ahead and keep on sewing. So I'm trying to do the easiest way to where I don't have to worry about things not matching up and not having to pin anything. I'm just going to go for it and then make it work out later. Now I've got to do this for, half of 3 and 3, so like for 60 inches. So bear with me.
That says she loves that little red machine.
Yes, it's cute. So the little red machine is the Travel Mate 30, and I do love it. It is lightweight. It is great for taking to classes. I feel like we get used to our big machines. So I have had some people who are like, okay, me, for instance. I am very used to my thread cutter button, and this does not have one. But then I was like, you know how long I went without a thread cutter button? A long time. So when I was sewing with this the other day, I was like, oh, just pull it out and cut it. It's no big deal. But we do get used to those features, right? I had Carla sat down at my machine, and mine versus hers, she doesn't have to lift the foot pedal. When she stops, the foot pedal comes up. So she's like, you have to lift this every time? I'm like, yes. We were laughing about it because it's fun. The things that you used to do all the time now are like different, right?
You get spoiled.
Yes, for sure. We should have done some kind of like, time, like speed it up. But you guys are seeing it in real time. So this is how long it would take to make a backing, right? We're going to see the whole thing start to finish. And if you later are like, oh, I want to do that, but I can't remember how, you can go back and watch this video and you can then speed through this part. Add the 10 second, jump ahead. I'm almost to the end. I'm just going to sew right off the end. All right. Don't use the thread cutter button. Then, now I'm going to take this. So I have this folded piece here, and I have my selvage edge here. I'm going to cut both of those. First, I'm going to cut my selvage edge. I'm just going to lay this out, and I'm going to put my ruler here, and I'm going to lay my stitches on the 1/2 inch line. So I like my seam on the inside of my backing to be a 1/2 inch. That's just what I prefer. You can do whatever you want. 1/4 inch is just fine. You don't have to have a 1/2 inch. It's just what I like. I'm going to cut all the way to the end, right? For me. And if I was a little bit swerved in or swerved out, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to cut off this to a 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to be nice. And one thing you do want to watch is that it's not folding up on you on the back side, that you're keeping that nice and consistent. And I'm going to go a 1/2 inch, lay that right on there. I love these Creative Grid rulers. I can see very well through that and cut that off. Okay, now I still have this weird thing going on, right? I'm going to show you. So if I open it up, I've got this like pocket, right? Right, because we've still got to cut it at the fold. So I'm going to take this back to where I have, here's the edge, and here's that fold. I'm not measuring anything. I'm just going to take it and cut that fold off. So sometimes it's nice to just lay it out and then go like this, so you kind of get a crease, just enough that it, is flat. I really don't have to measure anything because I don't have anything to measure to. I'm just going to go and try to stay as straight as I can all the way down the side. So I'm kind of seeing that there's, a little bit sticking out. I'm sure you could flip it the other way and measure if you want to. It's not that serious to me. So I lay it out and kind of fold a little bit just to get it nice and stiff. Lay my ruler there and cut the rest of the way. That's it. My backing is now 60 by at least 80. I still have selvage on the other ends, but that's fine. It's for me because I'm going to put it on a long arm. If you need to cut that off, cut off your selvage. So see, now I have 60 inch wide by 80 inches long. I've got this seam down the center, and I want to show you that see how it lines up on either side? We don't have to worry about it not being the same size, even though I cut 60 and 60 and I put them together and sewed, and then it doesn't work, right? Because it kind of shifts on you. You don't have that problem. So now when I go load it on the frame, it'll be nice and straight. That's all I have for today. I hope that helped someone. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments and we'll get back to you. But this, I hope you will save and use again when the next time you need to make a backing. Thanks, guys. See ya.